this place is as I drive through Nevada, I gotta wonder things like that. When I look at the sky and I go back and look at pictures that I've taken on this trip, especially in places like this where the mountains meet the sky, it almost feels surreal. Like somebody's put a sky in the background. It doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit. Anxiety keeps us back, keeps us down. Every time I've pushed through an anxious moment, I have found great reward and victory. And as I learn that lesson, as I'm learning it once again, keep pushing, keep trying, keep showing up. Don't tell yourself no and don't get mired down with all the details. Just do it, you know? Just go. On the other side of anxiety is you, a better, more resilient, stronger, vibrant you. Another thought I've had on the road, I've seen so many variations of mountains since I crossed over into, I guess, the end of Wyoming into Utah. I've seen different shapes, sizes. I've seen landscapes that go from lush and colorful to kind of bleak and just kind of bland browns, shades of brown, I guess. And I think about that, how it translates to my body image. And they're all beautiful. Every landscape I've passed through, which is the body of Earth, they're all beautiful. From cornfields to valleys to mountain peaks, they're all beautiful. They're beautiful. They hold a space in time. Geographically, geologically, they do. And that's cool because if you look at your body, it's exactly that too. I didn't always start out with stretch marks or flabby skin. I was a baby once. I had cute little baby dimples. And then I grew into and matured into a lovely young woman. And I had curves. And now as I get into my 50s, it's even more beautiful. My mountaintops, they're not as high, they're not as peaked, but they're there. They're there and resilient and saying, I made it. I made it past all those points in time. So I can be here. I can be just right here. That's cool. That's another thought I've had, to love myself a little more, no matter what it looks like, no matter what I feel like, just love it a little more. The skies over this past few days have been really neat to look at. They got striations, you got puffy clouds, you got no clouds, you got storm clouds. I've seen a lot of different variations of sky. Today, as I set out on my adventure, I'm looking up at the sky, and as I'm sure you can see, and I'm sure a lot of people have their ideas of what they see, but again, it's wisps, it's movement. That's what the sky is today. It went from being big, beautiful, white, puffy clouds for as far as the eye could see to now wisps and movement and motion. The sky is in motion today. I am in motion today. I am good. A little while back, I was climbing a hill. And just as the hill started, mountain, let's just call it what it is. I'm in Nevada. I'm in the mountains over here. And I'm getting ready to climb this mountain. And I've seen some cool things for directions that I'll share. So that apparently is a treacherous mountain, I'm gonna bet, in the winter, because there is a pull-off for semis to put their chains on their tires. Guys, that's pretty serious of a mountain that you've got to do that. I've come up and gone down some really steep mountains. Man, being a truck driver just blows my mind what they have to go through in order to deliver that cheap plastic part you ordered from China. Holy crap. Another thought, so they have rest stops. Out west, rest stops don't normally mean the same as you expect out east. Rest stops here literally are just that. You take a rest. And mostly it's for truckers. If you travel I-80 going up from Ohio heading towards California, on that stretch of I-80, and you get past or into Wyoming, you'll start noticing that the rest stops are for rests. They're not necessarily where you stop to take a potty break, but literal rest. And I think that's good. It's kind of reminding me on this journey especially, it's important to rest. So thank you for reminding me on this trip about how important rest is. Another thing that I saw on I-80, more in Nebraska, Wyoming had a little bit, Utah had it for a little while, and I haven't seen it now in Nevada. But they have sections of I-80 that literally, they have gates. And they have flashing lights and the signs that say, if these lights are flashing, I-80 is closed. How serious is the weather out here, guys? That they literally close a major interstate highway for. I don't know what they do. I don't know what they do if that closes. Those are all questions that I'm having on this trip. I have no one to argue or fuss or ask these things with or about. So it's just things that I'm sharing because I got to get them out, because I'm going to come back to this and probably look and go, curious. Something else I noticed in Nevada, they mark sides of mountains. I'm looking off to a mountain on my right that looks like it says 8 with a backward N. Not sure what that means. Or 8M. Maybe it's an M. Or maybe it's a BM. Maybe it's reminding me I should stop. I don't know. But I've seen the letter C carved into a mountain. It's white. I've seen a letter A that looked like it was mowed up on the side of a mountain. Interesting again. It's kind of cool to look at the things that are just commonplace. I guess if you live in these areas, you would never pay attention to. But I also don't know the meaning of them. Yesterday was my first time seeing a snow-capped mountain. And it wasn't necessarily capped. There would have been snow perhaps maybe earlier in this year on the tops of the mountain down a little more vast. But I literally looked at a mountain, much like you see just kind of a breath away to the left over here, with snow on the top. How tall is that mountain that it has snow on the top? Holy man, that's a high mountain. That was really cool to see. Very cool. Something else interesting happened yesterday. I visited the Bonneville Salt Flats. I was actually saving that for the end of my trip. On my way back, I was going to stop there. But I thought I needed a break. I'd been driving a long time yesterday, and while I was driving, my left shoulder was just aching, hurting, throbbing even. And it was time to pull off. It was time to take a break. So I decided I was going to visit the Salt Flats. And I got out on the Salt Flats, and there was other people there taking pictures, of course. And there's no rain. We haven't had rain out here for a while. So they're literally just white for quite a while. So it's like a giant lake bed that's totally white. It's really cool. I stepped out on it and I thought, you know what, I'm going to slip my shoes off and I'm just going to stand on this Mother Earth for a minute and I'm going to take it in. I'm going to pray for healing and safety and all the things that you pray for when you're having a vast, big journey, and I did. Sat there for a minute. Intentionally speaking, I came off of the Salt Flats after taking some pictures, like I normally do when I visit really cool places. And I noticed my shoulder quit hurting as bad. Spiritually, that's huge. That's me connecting to Mother Earth on a very sacred place. The Salt Flats, from what I understand, have been here for over 14,000 years. A long, long time. And it's really neat to be able to connect medicinally to Mother Earth. I'm thankful for that moment that I took. There's been many of those moments where instead of just saying, no, I'll get that later, and just doing it makes all the difference.